like to update our injuries before I do. Just sick to hear about Jimmy Garoppolo. I wish him the best in his recovery. Hate hearing that. We have some injuries. Carl Joseph hurt his hamstring. I believe he played just a play or two. Got hurt chasing Tannehill. He'll be out this week, I think. Our kicker, Mike Nugent, although he kicked field goals very well, has injured his hip. We're concerned about his status for this week. Donald Penn got a concussion. We believe he'll be okay. I shouldn't say he has a concussion. He has been checked out for concussion-like symptoms. Was unable to play much in the game. But tough loss. Really proud of some things that we did. Really excited about some of the things we put on tape. Unfortunately, we have plenty to clean up, and I'll answer any questions I can.
Field position has been an issue all season, and I know a couple special teams penalties didn't help you in that area yesterday. What have you made of just your starting field position?
It's been horrible. It's been worse than football. By far the worst starting position in football. I think we had numerous penalties on special teams, and it's a credit to our offense, really, for moving the ball out of negative territory. But we have to get more out of our return game, and we have to minimize the penalties. Unfortunately, Dwayne Harris was injured part of the game yesterday, but the penalties are inexcusable. We have to clean them up, and we have to get better field position for our offense, or it'll continue to be tough.
On the interception Derek threw in the end zone in the fourth quarter, in that situation, is that a risk you want him taking on first down in that situation, or does he need to be more careful? How do you view that?
Well, obviously, it didn't work out. It worked out in the Dolphins' favor. I thought we were too aggressive. I think at times he's trying too hard. We'll talk about that extensively here in the next couple hours, but I thought he played really good under some very tough circumstances. I think sometimes he needs to learn a little bit more patience, and I think he will. But I'm really excited about the way he has played and improved and mastered this offense. We're getting closer. That was a painful turnover. We will address that, and we'll make the corrections.
Only, I believe, 44, 45 defensive plays yesterday for your team. Still a lot to learn in those 40-plus plays. What was good to be like?
We not to interrupt, we had 38 minutes on offense, Really excited about the possession time. That's always something that we have taken pride in. But when you give up 4 plays for 196 yards and 3 touchdowns, you're not going to win football games like that. We gave up too many big plays, but there were some great efforts. I thought our ability to stop the run and get off the field on third down was impressive. But when you give up, jet sweeps that go for 75-yard, 35-yard touchdowns, we've got to erase those. We've got to clean that up immediately. I know Jarvis Landry and the Cleveland Browns are looking at our film, probably thinking, let's try a few of those again this week.
That's essentially how the league works, right? You run something until a team demonstrates they can stop it.
Yeah, and if there's $20 bills being spit out of a teller right down the street, you and I are going to get in line. We're going to stand in line and pick up 20s. The Rams got us, and the Dolphins got us, and I'm sure Cleveland is going to try to get us as well.
Incumbent upon it is on the coaching staff to make sure that the positives that you see are reinforced and that they don't sound hollow. Because when you lose games, sometimes it's almost,
I think our players understand how close we are offensively, and in certain aspects on defense, they know we have some issues that we have to overcome. There's no question. You can't fool players. They know we have certain issues we have to overcome. Injuries now being another one. But, 4th and 1 on the 1-foot line. We have the ball first down at the 12 going in late. We're on the cusp of doing something great on the road in a very difficult place to play in September, let me tell you. Defensively, we're 3 or 4 plays that we just talked about away from having a very good outing. Nobody cares right now. They want results. We want to win. But I think the players see a lot of things to be confident about, but we know we've got to finish football games much better.
Talk a lot about building. You tried to build something here. Is it difficult to be patient during the building process when the results aren't there and you're taking those steps?
There's no doubt we're here to win. We want to win. We want to enjoy the process more than we are right now. But we've got a lot of new players. We've got new systems. We've had some adversity. We're fighting. I think if you look at the tape, you'll see a lot of great competitiveness. You'll see some guys that are giving you everything they have, and you're seeing some improvement, which is important. But we still have a long way to go, and it'll be taxing. It'll be pressing on some of our leaders to really step up and showcase it in times like this.
Along with that, when you have a veteran team, a lot of those guys are going to be in that win now mode. How do you kind of balance making sure those guys kind of understand that there may be a little building process when,
I think our guys understand it. I think our guys understand what we're doing. I think they're working hard, very hard on the practice field. I think behind the scenes, the Raider fans would be impressed. The foundation, the practices, the work ethic, the attention to detail, the guys are working at it. And I thought our conditioning was very good yesterday, as good as theirs or better. And, I'm proud of that. But we have to start putting some wins in a column, and, that's what Raider fans want. That's what we want, and that's what we're after.
I know this is a win-loss business, and that's the nature of it, but when you turn on the film and you see how execution at times has been really, really sharp, are you encouraged by the direction of where things are headed through 3 games? I know.
Yeah, I am. I think we got to clean up the turnover ratio, number one. I think when you throw for 80% basically in 3 games and almost 1,000 yards, that's as good as I've ever been associated with. I mean, there's some really good things, us running the football now. Physical runs between the tackles with different kinds of backs, different kind of personnel groupings and plays. We got to get better field position. We've talked about that. We've got to eliminate the turnovers. We've got to eliminate the big plays on defense. And it's easier said than done. But we'll get back to work today and get ready for Cleveland.
When you break it down and when you break down the first half versus the second half and sort of analyze what's been different, what do you find? Do you think the adjustments you've made should be different? I mean, what have you learned from sort of looking at that?
Well, stats, obviously say 37-3, and that's not good. We failed on a 4th and 1 play in Denver. We had a false start at the end of the game in Denver that it really stymied us moving the football. We've turned the ball over in the red zone like we did last week. We have to finish drives on offense. Got to finish them, and we got to take better care of the football. And defensively, I know we have some injuries. Fatigue sets in. We've got to play better at closing time. That's something that we will continue to emphasize, might even try to be a little bit more creative in how we practice the final 10 or 12 minutes of games.
What is the key there to playing better in the fourth quarter? Kelechi had mentioned that it's a mentality that you have to take into that final stretch.
Well, you can't press. A lot of guys, you see it in golf, just to create an analogy, I've caddied for John Daly, I've caddied for some of the best. Some of these guys, they get on the 15th, 16th hole, and they're in great shape, and the fairways get tighter, and you swing a little faster, you try a little harder, and it doesn't work out. We've got to just take a deep breath. We've got to look forward to the moment. You got to apply pressure. I'm not saying we feel pressure, but we've got to continue to remain confident and poised and do our jobs individually so we can do our job collectively. I think at times we have some guys maybe trying to do too much, and that's something we got to really solve here quickly because we do have good enough players to finish.
You guys place such an emphasis on situational football and practice. So in terms of focusing on execution in the red zone, what's there to heighten in terms of what you guys already do?
Well, it's a results business. We liked our red zone plan yesterday. We got Jordy for a score on the opening possession. We ran a shovel pass to Cook that should have walked in really on 3rd down. Our short yardage offense on the goal line wasn't good enough. Our pad level, I got to credit Miami. They're pretty stout up front. Another time we got down there, we had an interception on 1st down. We think that it's very, very correctable, but We got to take better care of the ball. We got to come away with something down there.
There was a 3rd and 2 in which you guys connected on Keith Smith in the flat and were able to convert. It was a similar design as the 4th and 1 a week earlier. How much of that is a testament to your guys' faith in Keith to go right back to him in another critical situation 1 week later, and of course a different result?
That was a good play. I like that play. It went to Keith Smith, but the idea of the play was to get the ball to Lee Smith. We're not afraid to go to the Smith brothers in crunch time. We got we're gonna have mistakes now. Guys are gonna have some snaps here that are disappointing, but we got a lot of confidence in Keith Smith, and we're going to continue to go to him. He's what makes our two-back offense go.
There's only one takeaway on defense all year. What do you need to do to talk about guys? You don't want guys to do too much. So how do you balance that? You obviously want.
It's been a problem here for a while. We didn't get him last year. It's a big reason why field position is what it is. Really a turnover is almost getting a 3-and-out too. Getting a 3-and-out, getting the ball back immediately can almost be as good as a turnover. We need some of those, and we need to get the ball back, whether we intercept it or strip it away. You were at training camp. You saw what we're trying to do before every single practice. We got to get more hats to the football. We got to rip it out. That's winning football, winning the turnover battle. We're turning it over too many times, and we're not getting it back enough. That's a big reason, if not the number one reason, we're sitting where we are.
You see the roughing the passer call on Mo Hurst, and then you see an earlier sack by the Dolphins. Do you see a whole lot of difference between those two plays, and one that's not called and one that is?
Did you? Officiating is tough sometimes. We had a pass interference penalty last week, cost us potentially the game in Denver. We had a penalty yesterday that really enabled a drive to continue and ended up scoring on that drive. Chucky will come out, but they're trying to get it right too.
John, obviously, it's been a long time since you last coached. How do you look at the way you've coached these 3 games? What have you done well? What do you think you need to get better at?
Well, I'm not a lot different than what I was the last time here. Obviously, I wish the results on the win column were better. I'm encouraged by the staff we have, by the environment we are creating, and the direction we are heading. I'm really excited about it. We have a lot of work to do. We have a ways to go. But I am seeing progress. I think Derek Carr is going to be magnificent in this offense. I think we're going to be a balanced team that can possess the ball and make big plays. I really believe that. I think defensively we're still finding ourselves. And, special teams, we've lost our long snapper. We've lost our kicker now. We've lost 2 kickers, a long snapper, and I've lost my returner at times. So it's been a challenge. And yesterday we lost our right tackle. So I'm not going to give myself a report card right now. I'm just trying to get better and trying to provide good, positive, optimistic feedback to our football players, and we'll continue to compete.
Could you sense that yesterday was going to be a bigger day for Jordy Nelson, and do you think it could kickstart him a little bit?
Well, we've had 3 different receivers have over 100 yards in 3 games. So, ball distribution is not going to be one that I think people are going to predict. We're just not playing like that kind of football. This week it might be Cook. Next week it might be Cooper. Who knows? It may be somebody else against Cleveland. But he's played well. He's done unbelievable things for us behind the scenes. And he's helping our quarterback as well, I think, with some of his experiences. But to make a long story short, it was good to see yesterday. Really good to see.
What are you doing at kicker if Nugent can't go?
I don't know, Ron. We'll be trying out numerous people, trying to find the best available kicker possible. And Rich Bisaccia, I know Reggie McKenzie are up there working on getting some flights organized right now.
Can you sense outside negativity and piling on?
Can I sense outside piling on who, me?
Piling on from the outside on what's wrong with the Raiders?
Yeah, it's justifiable. I have a pretty good idea of what this business is all about. But I'm also realistic. I'm also very optimistic. and I'm going to continue to work hard, and I think I've got as good a coaching staff as there is in football. The results will happen. Might not happen this week, might not happen this month, next month, but we're going to get results here, and we're going to get this Oakland Raider football team back on track, and we just got to prove it.
Is it difficult weighing that balance of the long-term view and building and to move in the right direction and to try to create something sustainably successful here, with also just your natural competitive nature of wanting to win every week?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's hard to trade, one of your best players, one of the best players on the franchise. It's hard. It's hard on the players. We didn't get anything for him that's going to help us this year. Justin Ellis hasn't played. We got a lot of guys on the defensive line that are out. We have had to replace basically the entire secondary, some of the linebackers, and we're in the process of putting the pieces back together, and that'll be exciting. But right now we just got to continue to get ready for each game individually. Right now it's Cleveland, and they're a football team that's emerging. They've drafted a lot of good young players. It's starting to show on film, and Mayfield is the real deal. This young man can play.
Are you hoping to get him in that room, the quarterback room of yours?
Yeah. If we don't start winning some games, maybe I can. You know what I mean? Maybe I can.
All right, guys.
You got one more?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie was rotated a little bit more. Seemed like part of the plan yesterday. What led into that?
Well, he's a good player. It's a hot day. We want to try to reward our best players. And he has not only learned the defense, he's made plays behind the scenes here on the practice field. He's got history in this league. He's been a turnover magnet. I think he has a number of interceptions. He almost got one against the Rams. It was batted down. He was going to take it to the house, I think, but he was close yesterday. He's helped us on special teams. He's earned a right to get on the field more. And it'll be interesting when Worley comes back, what we do at the corner position. We've had some good snaps. We've had some inconsistent snaps. We got to get better.